How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to go and take this thing out and actually do a mission with it, the Royal, the JBE version. And I'm on White Valley for this one. I'm going to go and do the Broken Tunnel mission, and that unblocks the tunnel from White Valley to Northport. So I'm going to kind of go up there. I know I can get one of the things from there that I believe was concrete blocks, and then small pipes from the second one. I haven't got the watchtowers, so I was going to... This map isn't really... It's quite long and narrow for... you know, like on Drowned Lands where I didn't get any watchtowers and I just kind of drove around all over the place and uncovered the map naturally. This one, like, I've drove down the middle main road and that's kind of uncovered a massive strip down the middle. So yeah, it's not really showing up like each individual path you drive down as well as like it kind of showed up on Drowned Lands. Anyway, yeah, like I say, this is the setup I've got. I do like this truck. It's a very good looking truck. Particularly I like the fact that you've got can put a hood exhaust on it and stuff. The front bumper, I chose that one. I was watching Wolf Creek too, where he's got a big truck on there with a bumper pretty similar to that, so I can go ramming some people. And yeah, of course, I was trying me horse of a vehicle, get him on there. I just wanted to test out, like, since I found out he'd been able to do that, kind of what trucks can accept it, what can't, and all sorts. Long story short, loaded the loaf on, and it wouldn't let me pack it, so I recovered the Royal to the garage, took the hood exhaust off, and the snorkel. I believe it was probably the snorkel, and then I also took the roof lights off just in case. Don't need them anymore. I've got a roof loaf. So yeah, he'll substitute the headlights. I like as well that the reverse noise kind of it does the beeping, and then as you let off the accelerator, it's just kind of reversing, gives up. It's like sod it. Anyone gets run over at this point, it's their own problem. And yeah, I left this bit in because when you get the JB Royal, it actually gives you the option in the the trailer menu. There's 3 different trailers that are like a JBE version of the trailer. So you've got this one, there's a 4-slot ramped flatbed, and then the sideboard semi-trailer as well. But yeah, they've switched the wheels out with, I assume, are they like the quasi-single muds. It looks like they've raised the suspension up as well, so that's pretty cool. Perfect view out the window. You might think the loaf's blocking my view, but he is in fact improving it. So instead of 1s and 0s scrolling down the windscreen, it's L's and O's and 4s and F's, but increases visual range by at least 200%. So yeah, we'll set off, because like I say, I tested this thing out when it kind of first came to console, but I was just messing around, because there was quite a lot of mods really in one hit at the start. I tested most things just on the summer proving ground and stuff. Didn't really actually get to use a whole lot of them. I was testing through them as well, of like which trucks are good, which are bad. This was definitely in the list of good stuff, so I knew at some point I wanted to kind of get back round to it and yeah, put it up against a mission and kind of have a little play around with that. Yeah, that's what she said. I've got these studded quasi-monster mud things, or the double wide, whatever they are. It was slipping around a bit there, though. I've got the JBE transmission in as well, rather than the high range, which I usually am a fan of the high range, but I kind of knew I'm going to be going down icy roads, whether you've got chained or whatever. If you go too fast, you just slip around anyway. And yeah, after that I'll kind of be off-roading, so I suppose I've got the high-low, like the 3 low-range options instead. And yeah, high in this is quite a nice pace, to be honest. It's nice to go a little bit faster sometimes. I'm certainly, I do quite like a bit of speed, but yeah, like I say, rather than just slipping around and winging it as you go along, bouncing off everything, this one keeps it fairly stable. And I think, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure this has still got the same engines in as you get with the Royal anyway, which doesn't really matter because it's power to weight and everything on the Royal was never a problem. It was a very fast truck. Yeah, it pulled up to speed pretty well. The major issue with it back in the day was tipping. That sign as well, for some reason, next to the bridge is made of iron. It's most of them you can just knock out of the way. That thing's like a little anchor. But yeah, right now, even the amount I'm leaning now, especially that I've got a loaf on the roof as well, I'm just pretty confident the Royal would have just tipped there. And that's mainly the reason I didn't use it a hell of a lot when I first found it, because I did Northport pretty, like that was one of the first maps I kind of did really. And yeah, I found it, used it for a little bit, but I soon realised it was just the Navistar was still very nice with like the high range and all the rest of it, but yeah, the Navistar is weighted very nicely, more in line with like a realistic feel to it. This just never was. If anything, it felt like the weight was up high. It probably one of the worst in the whole game for tipping. probably up there somewhere with like the ANK as well. That was sadly a bit of a nightmare for tipping. They've helped that a bit now though, because they've added the option of custom muds on that, so which does help. I think not only does it add weight kind of low down, but yeah, they sit wider as well, so yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, this thing, like I say, power to weight was never an issue anyway, so it didn't really need that fixing. And yeah, they've done a good job of it. It's like they've added, I assume, moved the weight lower down, or at least added more weight to the wheels or something. You can have obviously more selection of wheels, bigger wheels as well. These are 57-inch muds, so well, the chain because of the studded version. But yeah, 57-inch tyres is pretty decent. Even the you're talking in base game stuff, like the Dolphin's got pretty decently sized tyres at 51-inch. John's 50-inch. The Taiga is, that might be 51 or something. So yeah, you're definitely talking an extra 6 inches. Don't even need to say it, but I'm gonna. That's what she said. Yeah, got me concrete slabs or whatever they are. I only needed one, so it's not too bad. And yeah, like I said, I've not uncovered the map so far. I know roughly where I was going, but I've not really been on White Valley for a while. Although this is definitely as well one of my more favourite maps. I might do a video soon. Someone suggested it the other week about doing like my favourite maps, which yeah, this is as far as what's it called, like the Alaskan region. Yeah, this is probably one of my favourite maps. It's got a nice variety of stuff on there, White Valley. It's, I mean, where you start in the garage is pretty nice, big garage, good layout and all the rest of it. Cut over the snow and you've got the airport, which is fun for flying up and down there, testing speed of vehicles, messing around in the Jeff Special. You got the cliff to jump off, the pretty deep sort of sea river section or whatever to try and drive through and test out snorkels and all that. You got the little, I don't know if I'd quite go as far as an Easter egg, but that little island in the corner. It would have been pretty cool if they had some kind of Easter egg on that island for getting over there. But yeah, you've still got that as well. You got the mountain, which is pretty cool for, again, testing like snow driving, how well it climbs up the hill, how bad it is for tipping and all the rest of it. You've also got like a few roads going like sort of the whole length of the map really, but then you've got all the other kind of windier, more off-road stuff like this. So yeah, it's just got a nice variety to it. Again, with talking maps like Imandra, there is one section that's kind of like a road that you can get a bit of a move on, but then it's got a lot of obstacles in the way. It's really slippy down that hill and it banks very far to the left if you're going down it, I believe. And yeah, you end up sliding into the trees. It's just, Imandra is a pure troll designed to slow you down really, which somebody was saying the other day, they've been using mods on Imandra, and yeah, I think they preferred it overall because it's just, like I say, Imandra forces every bit of gameplay to be slow, so with the mods it's nice to actually start reclaiming a bit of the speed. And I mean, again, it's not like I want to start going like a rally driver or anything across the terrain. You can even see, well, I've gone into high range now, but I'm quite happy going in high-low and that, because this truck just feels properly balanced, and yeah, I don't feel like it's stealing time from me and purposely slowing my my journey down. I just don't feel as bad about chilling, kind of sticking to the rules, sticking to realism a bit more, and actually cruising along. I don't know as well, I obviously got the loaf packed on there. I mean, he's a goddamn professional, so it was typical. I was bound to find it out with a loaf. But I don't know how many other scouts are able to do the same. But it's looking like it's fairly unrestrictive on which trucks it lets you do it on. Certainly with trucks like this, where you just got a small enough cab that you can hook the wheels over the front and the back. Yeah, it works out pretty nicely. And again, well, I know it's not the most realistic thing in the world. I'm sure, not that there'd really be a whole lot of point, but I'm sure in real life you could build like a scaffold frame, a bit like those front bumpers and that you can put on some trucks, that could support the weight of a loaf. There's a few trucks that drive past my house that have, well, more like a van with a rollback, and they've usually got two vehicles, kind of one parked on the back and one basically goes on a metal frame over the roof like this. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most unrealistic. And got to bring a horse with me. So that's that. Grab this small pipes. Can you see though, where I just uncovered the map driving to here, it's lit up such like a wide area beside where I was driving that it's not really going to leave like a nice little pattern of trails that I've been driving. It's just kind of practically going to uncover most of the map. When I originally uncovered this map the first time, I did it in the Cat 745C, and it was actually pretty handy, because back then a lot of stuff I didn't have all the full upgrades or anything, so I was probably still down in like the all-terrain tyres, stock engines, possibly not even got the high-range gearbox or anything by that point. But yeah, I just got the Cat 745C from Mountain River, and just sticking that thing in like I think the high-low, because it had the special or the advanced special or whatever. Yeah, I just kind of aimed at the watchtowers and drove over the mountains and all sorts, and yeah, it's a bit of a slow sod, that thing. Certainly probably not one of the most useful, but that'll be interesting when the when Phase 3 gets here, because obviously that'll bring login with it. I believe as well, the other day I was looking what to add to my Dolphin, and I'm sure they've already added like the login cart add-on. So maybe that last update they kind of sneaked a few things in ready for Phase 3. So yeah, like I say, when that arrives it should be pretty cool. And that's where stuff like the Cat 745C might actually become pretty useful again as a bit of a log hauling beast. I don't know what it's doing now. I think it was that gearbox thing where you sort of add acceleration, but it just jiggles the wheels around as if they're kind of all locked up. And it's not really, it's like a minor inconvenience. It doesn't actually do anything to like wreck your game or make you flip over or anything like that. It just doesn't. Well, it's adding power, but yeah, it's like all the wheels have kind of locked up. But you blip the throttle a couple of times and it was set off again, so there's no problem. And yeah, this thing's ticking along pretty nicely again in the high-low as well, especially that it's now got the 57-inch tyres, and these big wide custom mud sort of things are pretty cool. And the other nice thing, I mean, he's not just a goddamn professional, but he's a weight loaf sat over the front, so he's helping keep some weight on them front tyres, make sure they dig in. It was funny, in yesterday's video when I was using that 114 SDR, when I finally tipped over and the loafs fell off, yeah, how instantly that SDR just then couldn't really get anything up that hill was kind of showed you that those loafs were actually helping, like rather than just being extra weight and slowing it down, it was that extra weight was, yeah, an actual useful help. It was giving me a lot more grip out of the thing. See, along here, I thought it'd be a pretty good test for this Royal, because it's pretty tippy along here. Like, you get on some serious angles. Even the trailer is almost considering tipping once or twice. And yeah, in a normal base Royal, I'd pretty much bet money on it that you'd tip here. I'm sure I did tip the first time I ever tried this mission. And yeah, back then I probably didn't even have a goddamn horse or a vehicle with me, so that would have been a probably recover to garage job. And yeah, just up here and we're done. And overall, I'd say this truck's, yeah, well, I've actually kept it in my garage, to be honest. Like, most of the time when I've been testing a lot of these mods, I just sell them back, even though I like them, and in the long run I'd like to keep them or get them again, etc. But, yeah, just trying to keep the amount of mods I keep on low, but I've started leaving a few more kind of on my game at the minute, because just to sort of see what happens. I think I've still got a heavy wrecker, I've got the Azov Iceberg, that's a very good mod. Got the JBE John, and then now I've got this as well, JBE Royal. Yeah, not a whole lot of money for that, but it unlocks this tunnel so I can actually just cut back and forth to the maps, which is pretty nice. And the reason why I'm travelling through the gateway now, I just wanted to check that this loaf would actually travel and stay where it is, and the good news is it did, so that seems pretty stable and fixed now, which is nice, because for bloody months it'd, let's say, make the loaf turn into a ghost or something and drop it through. So yeah, as far as travelling across different maps now, when you've got everything all packed up and loaded, it's a lot easier. So just pulling up back here, because it's a particular JBE trailer, I believe if I left that trailer abandoned on the map but then I sold the JBE Royal back, it still say there's like mods added and there's a mod missing, etc. This is the other trailer, the ramped 4 slot, which has got the sort of wide, same tyres as I've got basically, slightly smaller, but they're probably still a good 50 inches, because like I said, these are the 57s. And then lastly is yeah, that's the sideboard, which again has got the sort of custom double wide quasi muds or whatever, which is, yeah, pretty cool. I quite like that they're an option. That's part of the reason why I kept the Royal in the end, because now I'll still have access to them. And lastly, which I just appreciate as well, they've added a winch point to the middle roof of the Royal, so you can actually lift it. I tried it with the P12, and I did eventually manage to lift it, but it was a bit of a fiddly mess. It's not really very smooth, but that's not a JBE's problem. Like, they've done their job. They've added the winch point, which again, like I say, I appreciate the options there. This heavy wrecker crane though, that can lift it no problem. So yeah, it'll just make things a little easier as a potential option to load it onto a trailer or something. And then just at this point, I was messing around a bit. I thought, while I've got it in the air, how often do you get to stick a Royal on the roof? So we'll give it a go. Give it a little nudge of encouragement. It wants to get up there, it just doesn't realise it yet. So we have to remind it. Yes, it's nice when a plan comes together. And there he is. Again, I do like, it's one of the better looking trucks in the game, I reckon. Especially with the, I think that bumper sets it off pretty well. And I was just messing around now, jumping off here, but I like the way the suspension kind of is a lot more cushiony and looks, I'd say, more realistic. The suspension's a little bit bouncy and mental on this game. And then jump off there, I get a bit of damage, but overall not that bad considering. Yeah, that's about it for today though. I hope that helped, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, thanks to my Patreon members, and I'll be back soon.